Hi everybody, I'm Claire from Rainbow Acrylics. I want to know if I can use my Dutch pour consistency paints for a swipe that I can spin out. So a lot of artists on YouTube spin out their artwork, but I think it's often with the bloom recipe. And I want to know if I can do it with my good old Dutch pour recipe, which is made of floetrol mixture with the paints, and then the cell activator with the Australian floetrol. So I'm going to have a go. I'm going to experiment and see what happens. So I've got a little 20cm round canvas here, and I've got a lovely new fancy turntable, which is a metal one, and it just glides absolutely beautifully. Bought it from Amazon. So I'm going to try pouring onto this. So I've got some colours here. I've got two of the colours here. I've got phthalo, phthalo green turquoise. I think that's what it's called. So I'm going to use that for a base colour. It's been diluted with some white, so it's a bit paler than the actual colour. The actual colour, just to show you, is this. So it's really, really dark. Let me just double check the name of it. It's just this. De La Rowney System 3 Acrylic Phthalo Turquoise. So this is phthalo turquoise, but added white in it. And then I'm going to put the actual phthalo turquoise on in a minute. So let's just see what happens first of all if I spin this. So as I said, these are all my Dutch pour consistency paints, and that recipe I'll put in the description, but the recipe that I use is 2 parts floetrol to 1 part paint to 3/4 of a part water, unless it's a iridescent colour, in which case it's 2 parts floetrol, 1 part paint and 1 part water. So this turquoise I'm just using up. Oh, I just added a lump in the centre. So I'm just going to help it just cover the edges. And then I'm going to put some of the phthalo turquoise down. I'm not going to do puddles. I'd quite like to do some lines, just some different patterns. I've got some phthalo cyanine blue. Some of the Amsterdam bluish grey. Pebeo Studio Acrylics blue green. And some silver. And I'm just going to go back in with slightly more of the darker phthalo turquoise. Right, lots and lots of paint down there. So I've got some cell activator here on a little tile. On a tile here. So cell activator is mixed 3 parts Australian floetrol to 1 part paint. So what I'm going to do, I've got a bit of plastic here. I'm just going to dip my plastic in my cell activator. Get plenty on there. And then just swipe across. Right, so lots of lovely swipes there, loads of amazing lacing. So I'm just going to see what happens now if I spin this. Now I would say that has worked. So my lacing is still there. Everything has spread out beautifully. The only bit I'm not happy with is this line here, which was at the edge of the swipe. It's worked. I'm so happy with it. It's really, really worked. Look at the lacing. The cells. It's just beautiful. So pleased with it. I can tell the mixture is really thin. For example, the cells here, you can see that they've lost a bit of their structure. They're not quite as sort of tight as the rest of the cells. It does look quite fluid. But it works, so you can actually spin out some lacing with a Dutch pour recipe. I'm going to do another one. So I've got another canvas here. I've decided to just thicken my paint slightly. So I've got some Amsterdam sky blue here. It was Dutch pour consistency, but I've just added a squirt more paint to it, so it's just a bit thicker now. So I've chosen 3 colours, and again I've just made them a little bit thicker. I've got Pebeo Studio Acrylics Iridescent Violet Blue and Iridescent Blue Green, and then some Montmartre Purple. So very similarly to the previous, I'm just going to randomly pour these on. Beautiful, beautiful colours. Right, let's get my swiper. So I'm just dipping it into the cell activator again. Wow, those colours are gorgeous. So what happened there is I had cell activator in one part, but I've missed the cell activator. It hasn't stuck properly to my swipe at all. And then let's spin. It's going to take a lot more spinning this time. Love it, absolutely love it, apart from this little bald patch. But if I can tilt that. No. The lacing has definitely stayed together a lot better with a slightly thicker mixture. Just going to try and cover this little patch. I love it. Let me show you up close. That has kept its shape so much better, being slightly thicker. Much happier with that. So here they both are dry. I really like them. I'll talk you through both separately. So this one, just look at the shine and the iridescence. It's so pretty. The pattern itself is quite subtle, and I think it's partly because the paints were quite runny. They've sort of blended, especially there. Can you see? They sort of blended a little bit. So you've got the cells, but I think they're just not quite as well defined. And there, see these really big cells here, that's always a sign, I think, that the paints are slightly on the runny side. But that was just my normal Dutch pour consistency, paint consistency. So I'm actually really happy with the result. The shimmer is beautiful. I might be brave and be tempted to resin this, because I think it would look gorgeous. I think if I could resin that the effect would be lovely. And then moving on to the other one, just the colours are gorgeous, the cells are gorgeous, the lacing is gorgeous. Let's just focus. The contrast is obviously a lot greater, so I've got purple and white here, but look at that. Oh, sorry, I know there's a shadow. Look at that lacing. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So this, I obviously just thickened up the paint slightly here, and I just feel like the cells and the lacing just held a little bit better. Again, you've got a really beautiful shimmer. Composition wise, I think I need to work on my composition slightly, because my favourite bits are here and then the other dark purple bit at the top. I've got this slightly odd plain bit here. Doesn't matter. I'm still going to varnish it or resin it. And then if anybody wants it there, yeah, they can have it. But composition wise, I need to work on that a little bit. But this was an experiment, and I think a pretty successful experiment, because I know Dutch pour paints work, consistency work, but slightly thicker Dutch pour seems to work slightly better. So let me know what you think. If you've done a similar experiment with thinner paints, with a different type of recipe to the normal sort of bloom recipe, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've done that and what results you've had. Great, thanks so much for watching. Bye.